What's up everybody, Morph here. Today on Arknights Endfield, I'm going to teach you the optimum way to get out of Outpost level 1 so you can start gold armor crafting. I have yet to do this, I just finished this factory and it's absolutely amazing. You will get out of Outpost level 1 and get some juicy upgrades so that we can actually make armors in Outpost level 2. We'll have more energy, we'll have more space, everything will just be better on day 2. On day 1, we just gotta get out of this level 1. Alright, so this is the best way to do it. You're gonna do the LC Battery Wuling farm. LC Wuling Battery farm. Whew, that's a mouthful. Alright, so first things first, I have some very big tips and important tips. Number 1, when you get to this new region, it's back to 0. You're actually gonna have like 400 energy or something. It's a very low number. Actually, it's smaller, maybe like 250 or something. It's really bad, so you're gonna need to make a few things after you start building your farm or your factory. Okay, so that's 1. Everything is back to 0. You have no access to the old depot. It's not a shared depot anymore, although you can share 900 items of one item every hour. It gets transferred to this depot. It's not very intuitive, not very useful. So what you're going to do is put all the necessary things that you're going to need to start your farm. It's mostly going to be sand leaf, buck flower. I think you're going to need some... Actually, I think that's it. Bring your buck flower and your sand leaf. Just bring a bunch of them, like 500 each or something. And then put it in the depot. And then let it sit there until I'm done giving you guys tips. Okay, so do that. Manually feed your materials into the depot with your bag. Number 3 tip, I guess, and probably this is going to be the most important one. In the game, there's a new little mode that you do called Environment Monitoring or Outskirts Monitoring Terminal, whatever. Basically, this first mission right here, you get to do both in one day, by the way. The first one will give you about 16,000 of this credit. You start with 0, by the way. And the second one will give you 54,000 credits. Now, do not be a ninny or a nincompoop and spend that on something stupid like eagles, owls, or the rabbit guy store. Do not waste it there. You're going to want to save it for your upgrades on your plots. So first of all, go to the AIC Steward. The most important thing you're going to need to upgrade is the depot bus. If you do not have loading and unloading capabilities, you will not be able to get out of Outpost level 1 on day 1, probably not even day 2. So do this first. Do not make this huge mistake of spending your credits on anything else. Depot bus on both outposts. Next, you might want to get some area expansion for one of them. This is the smaller one, so I chose to do it on this one, although this farm that I made here is a little bit more basic than the extreme one in Wuling, alright? But the Wuling one is bigger in general. So, let's go. How exactly do you make the LC Wuling Battery? You go over again to the outpost, click the magnifying glass, click the packaging unit. We need to first craft... It's a combination of Serenite, the new material for Wuling exclusive, and dense originium powder mixed into a packaging unit to make the battery. So the game is passively going to teach you how to make this Serenite. It's part of the main quest line. So just follow that. They're going to give you a system generated blueprint that's saved, and you will use that same blueprint on crafting for more of this stuff. But I altered it a little bit to make it a little bit more efficient and better because it was stalling. It's slow. I made it not stall anymore. It will stall for like a split fraction of a second one time, and then it's going to continue, but it's barely stalling now. It's 100% self-sufficient. It took a while to perfect this and make it happen. So do leave a like and sub. I highly appreciate the support. And yeah, it keeps me going to making these videos. Okay, so again, just so we're clear, what's gonna be important is you need to be able to sustain your buck flower because you're gonna need it for carbon. You're gonna need to be able to sustain your sand leaf because you're gonna need it for sand leaf powder. And then you're gonna need to be able to sustain your originium powder because you're gonna need it for originium, dense originium powder, or whatever, this thing, the cube thing. So what exactly do you need to make? This is where the video actually starts. Okay, so let's take a look at this is the final product factory. So ignore everything else. You start off here first. This is my shredding unit for originium powder. You need 4 of them. So you need 4 in outtakes, or whatever this thing is, like things that bring it out, outputs, and put it in the inputs. So 4 of those is all you need to sustain this whole farm. Next, you're gonna need to create a thermal battery system. You're gonna need about, this is 6, you're gonna need 12 of these. So I have 6 here, I have 6 on the other side, and it's only running on Ori because, well, I'm making batteries, so I can't really use the battery to use for power, right? So it's actually good. You're still sustaining your Ori, you're not dropping to 0, even if you're using 12 different thermal thingies for the energy. As you can see, it requires about 795 energy out of 800. This is what my build is. Okay, so obviously this is the main production, which is the packaging for the battery. You can see it's over here. It's going ZZZ for a split second or 2, and then it's gone. It's unavoidable. It can be avoided if you add another grinder system, but it's impossible. So the base one is, you only have, well, you have 2 grinders and you're running this through the grinder too. But in this case, I'm doing the Sirenite on the other farm. That way it's a little bit more efficient. In this farm, I get to have 2 grinders working for the Ori powder so that it's faster to load up this thing. Because if you don't put 2 tracks with Ori powder and you only put 1, imagine this will take half the time slower. So having 2 already doubles the time of production, which is why this is a very efficient farm. It is also efficient because I have things like these planter boxes to sustain sand leaf. But that's not all you're gonna need. You're gonna need more than this. This is just my build in this farm because I ran out of outlets. So you're gonna need a lot of outlets, or what do you call this? Output thingies, to be able to make the battery. That's what you're spending it for. You're gonna need the raw resource maker, and that's gonna be on the Wuling Hub one. So let's go over to the Wuling Hub. I'm sorry, there's construction work going on in the neighbor's house, so I'm hoping you don't hear that noise, but if you do, I apologize ahead of time. Alright, here we are in my Wuling resource farm. Oh my god, this thing is a Frankenstein monstrosity. There's nowhere to stand, but it works. Just copy the blueprint and it should work. I hope you guys try it out. Maybe you can edit my build a little bit so that it's a bit cleaner. But I'm telling you guys, it's very, very hard to make this thing work, but it works. Alright, so here we go. Here's my Wuling resource farm. Alright, first of all, if we take a look at this portion of the factory, this is the part where you're making Sirenite. And this is the blueprint that the game gives you. It's a 3 shredder blueprint with 2 grinders, 2 refining things, and of course the region specific, I forgot what you call this thing, Forge of the Sky, right? So that thing, you're gonna run it with water on the side, and then put the belt back into the base. Boy, but the problem with this thing, if you do not feed the grinder with 2 sources of shredders, it is gonna shred really, really slow. It's not gonna, it's gonna grind really, really slow. and your production of Serenite will not be able to withstand the perfect speed of crafting the battery. You're gonna need to be able to feed the grinders quickly at the same pace, no stalling. So you need to run two sources of, what do you call this? Carbon through it. Carbon powder. Carbon powder is what you're gonna run through this grinder. Two sources of carbon powder and one source of sand leaf powder. Then you're gonna run it through the refinery into the Skyforge. So that's where it's a little bit difficult, right? So to be able to sustain the amount of carbon necessary, you're gonna need two carbon farms. So two sources that are two refineries making carbon. The problem is carbon takes up a lot of plant matter. You're gonna need to be able to sustain your plant matter because you're gonna have four different plants or four different things using up your plants. Not only that, you also need to have two kinds of plants, meaning to say you're gonna need to double up on being able to sustain both plants. So I have my planter set right here. This one is for the sand leaf. There's one here for it's a little bit more scattered because there's no more space in the map. But for buckleaf or whatever this thing is, buckleaf, buckleaf, you're gonna need one. There's another one here somewhere. 1 1/2. And I have one on the other map. If you guys remember, there's a planter over there too for sandleaf. But I think you're gonna need at least 4 or 3 planters. So planter, planter, planter. Yeah, you're gonna need 4 planters, 4 buckleaf to sustain the carbon production for making your battery. So 4 planters for buckleaf, and for sandleaf, you're gonna need more than 4. You're gonna need about 6 in my opinion. So on the other farm, put one of the setups over there. Of course, you're gonna need a battery setup here, another 6-piece battery running with Ori. It sustains and it works and it's fine. So that's actually all you need. You also need these like feeder, what do you call it? Protocol stashes, so that you don't need to run it through the main AIC because it's far away. But as you can see, there's belts everywhere. It's a little bit confusing. Here's where that depot bus comes in clutch. You really need it. And a nice little tip for you guys. You can build on the very edge of the depot bus. This does not need to have any backing support. Nor does this one. This one is actually outside of the building space and it works. I ran that through. There's another charcoal maker here, carbon maker there, carbon maker here. Yeah, that's where I was able to run my carbon makers. Because if I did not have that carbon maker, it will definitely not be enough. So you need 2. Actually, sorry, you need 3 carbon makers. Nope, you need 2. 2 carbon makers. Alright, so that's basically it. If we take a look at my depot, you can see that my sand leaf is at 17.9 thousand. It's self-sustaining at 18,000, so that's the maximum. If we take a look at my carbon, it's gonna move from 934. There's no gain. Sandleaf has gain. This one is just smack at this area. It's not gonna budge from 935, 933, 934, 932. It's going 33, 31, 32, 930, 1, 4, 5 again. It's self-sustaining at that number. When you see the number doing that, that's a self-sustaining farm right there. Same thing with the buckleaf. If you see the numbers fluctuating like that, 381, 382, that's already self-sustaining. Same thing with this one. Originium powder. 104, 101, 104, 101. That means it's self-sustaining. It's very, very good. And I'm telling you guys, this is an effective way to farm it. And if we take a look at my outpost, you're gonna need a lot, guys. See, you're gonna need 250,000 prosperity. And the batteries will give you, if I sell this, it gives you about 17,400. It's gonna take some time to get out of level 1. And there's just no space. You saw it. I have no space anymore to farm anything, to put anything here. There's no more outputs to put anything to output. Not unless you upgrade. You can upgrade. You could buy. We can maybe the thing that we can do is, I'm not even sure about this. Let's try and find where it is. This thing. Maybe we can add an expansion. We can expand the land a little bit. Add something to help us farm. Maybe spend 60,000 of whatever this is to add another depot bus, which is probably what we're going to be doing for the armor making anyway, and the area expansion. So those are things that can be done to help out the build currently, but it is going to take some time. And I'm telling you, this is the best in slot right now. Much like my neighbor doing construction in their house, my factory is busy at work as well. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you out. Codes are in the description below. Good luck, guys. This is a pretty damn hard farm to make. If you just want to use my code, it's gonna be very difficult to use. But if you can do it, if somehow you manage to be able to put down my blueprint, yeah, you're gonna want to count the number of squares here. I guess there's 1, 2, 3 from the edge, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 3 by 5 from the edge of the, I guess, the left side of the map. Top left, 3 by 5. That's where you position your this thing. So that way when you slot in my blueprint, it just goes in. Alright? So good luck. Have fun. Enjoy Arknights Endfield. It is a great game. Again, if this helped you out, hit that like, hit that sub. And I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.